I'm a little bit embarrassed to say this because one of the best ones I found on the island was in. So let's talk about something they're so proud of in Barbados. I ate so many of these. Every time I'm there, you have to. It's like one of the best lunches you can buy. But I'm a little bit embarrassed to say this because one of the best ones I found on the island was in a gas station. I know, hear me out. So one of my friends said you have to go to this gas station to try one. And I was like, what? Okay, let's go. You know, expectations of gas station food were very low. But when you looked in the gas station, they had some restaurant grade equipment in the back there. So I had one and I was pleasantly blown away. We're talking about cutters from Barbados. Now, I say Bajan cutters. You can say Bajan, it's okay. Short for Barbados, right? So it's sort of like a sandwich, but it's in the famous Bajan salt bread roll. We're gonna make one shortly. Fluffy exterior, little bit of crunch on the outside. And despite the name, it's not actually salty. It's just that a lot of the bread in Barbados, it's kind of more on the sweet side. Like my mum makes a sweet bread from Trinidad, you know, Caribbean. A lot of the breads are a little bit more sweet. So we're gonna make a salt bread first of all, because I have got an event coming up soon and my idea is to put a Bajan cutter menu on. All right, so we're gonna have different cutters with my take on it. I mean, I used to bake bread in the restaurant when I worked in fine dining. I used to make like 200 bread rolls a day. So let's see if I still got it. And we're gonna do some tests with some fillings. So if you don't know it, I am a chef. My parents are from the Caribbean. I used to work in fine dining probably 15 years ago, and I quit fine dining because I wanted to cook food from my heritage, the kind of dishes that my mum used to cook for me. And I loved cooking with fire. So I kind of went around, did trips around the islands, learnt more about the food, learnt more about the native way that we used to cook in the Caribbean before people came along and colonized it, how we used to cook with fire. And this is my style of cooking. Now, we're going to do a cutter menu for this event that I'm doing in a couple of next month in Barbados. You can eat them whenever. I love to have them at lunch. But cutters, you got the Bajan salt bread, and then you got a filling. The main filling is like you can have different fillings. So you can have ham filling, one of the most populars. So ham cutter, fish cutter. There's a really famous spot for fish cutters I will tell you about in a bit, right? Cheese cutter, liver cutter, egg cutter, right? These are all classic fillings in Barbados. You get that, you get lettuce, tomato, maybe some cheese, and of course, the famous Bajan hot sauce. Always looking like this, bright yellow, flavoured with mustard and turmeric. So let's do these tests. So today I think the test we're going to do is I want to take some lechon, which is roast pork. You find that in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, and of course you have it outside of the Caribbean too. But I wanted to do a little bit of a play with the ham cutter, taking some lechon instead. So roast pork, crispy chicharron. I'm thinking a little bit of a Trini chow chow, which is like a little bit like the Bajan pepper sauce, but it's the Trini kind of style. It's more of a pickle style with vegetables. So we're gonna go with some of that. I'm thinking Dominican pickled onions, Trini garlic sauce. Let's try to put this together. Okay, let's go to our trusty recipe book, Bajan salt bread. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna get a nice metal bowl. We are gonna take some flour. Now, this is 50% wholemeal flour. The reason for that is when you take white flour, that is just purely the sugar part of the carbs. Like it's refined down to just give you the energy part. Now, this is 50% wholemeal, meaning half of it is the whole grain of flour, and the grain of flour or grain of wheat as nature intended it is surrounded by a coating of fiber, which helps us to digest the carbs slower. So I always recommend whenever you're making something to use a little bit of whole grain flour at least. I'm going 50% here, and we're going to sieve it, get some air into that flour, get rid of all the lumps. Just get a quick tidy up. Now, a little bit of date syrup. I don't like using refined sugar either, so date syrup, natural sweetener. Usually you can use brown sugar also. Then we have a little bit of salt. This is Bajan salt bread. It's not salty, like I said, but just a touch of salt in there. Now, we're going to take a little bit of olive oil, just to give it a little bit of fat. And now we have our dried yeast. Now what I'm going to do with this yeast is I'm going to activate it. A little bit of warm water. Yeast works at room temperature. It likes room temperature water, just called tepid, and it likes sugar. Sugar feeds it. So I like to always get my yeast started when I'm baking. So I add a bit of water and a bit of sugar just to get it going. And what you're going to happen, you're going to see it's going to come to life. It's going to wake up because the yeast is asleep in that dried format. So anytime I bake, I always use this method just to wake it up a little bit before I use it. Now I'm going to put that aside to 1 minute because I want to show you something else. This is a bit of my sourdough starter. Now I always keep my sourdough starter dormant in the fridge, but I just took a little bit of it and mixed it with water to wake it up in the same way. Now the reason I'm using sourdough starter is because this is where flour has started to ferment. Now this is what the starter looks like. I keep it in my fridge. It's asleep at the moment, and when I want to wake it up, I just add more flour and water to it, and it will start to digest and grow. We're going to add a little bit of this just to get a little bit of that sourdough flavour, but also to start the process of digestion of the flour that's already in our baking mix. Now we're going to take our yeast. See, it's woken up, it's a bit bubbly. Chuck that in. Now it's all stuck to the bottom, so I'm going to have to just rinse it a couple of times to get the water in there. So that I'm going to come back with a bit of water. Right, now onto the mixer for 10 minutes. You can do this by hand, of course. I've just got the mixer with a little dough hook on it. So I'm going to put it on, and off you go, 10 minutes. And just like that, we have a nice smooth dough that's been stretched. The glutens have been stretched. Look at that, nice and smooth. And the key here is soft as well. So we're going to just remove the dough hook. Now, I've got this amazing tool, right? Check this, like I got this from IKEA, and this video is not sponsored by IKEA, but this is great for working with dough. I highly recommend it. It's so cheap, and it's great for just doing stuff like this, getting dough off your hands, getting dough off a hook, getting dough off the countertop, cutting dough. So what we're going to do, we're just going to form this into one nice little ball. I'm going to try not to mess around with it too much more, and this is going to go to proof. So I'm just going to make it into a nice ball. Just going to take a little touch of olive oil. Just, we don't want it to dry out the skin, like we don't want a crispy skin on it. So a little bit of olive oil will stop the air getting to it. And just going to spread that all over. Now, what we're going to do is put a kitchen towel over the top of this and put it in a nice warm spot for 45 minutes. No draft, somewhere nice and warm. I always put it in a cupboard somewhere. See you in 45. So here we are. This is 4 times bigger. Look at that. Amazing. Let's get our tray ready. Of course, we need our dough scraper. A little bit of flour on the counter because we're going to work with it. Poke your finger in it. If it don't come back, then it's ready. Now, let's get it out onto the counter. We're going to make this into some little dough balls, our rolls. Be quite gentle with it. I'm going to just roll it out to a sausage, and then we're going to chop it up and make it into our rolls. Now, we want to try to make each roll equal, so I've got my scales here. So I'm going to weigh them out, get them to about 100 grams each. And yeah, let's see if I still got the skills from when I worked in the restaurant, because when I worked in the restaurant I could roll these out two at a time. I used to have to do 200 a day. We made all the restaurant bread fresh every day in the morning, white bread rolls and soda bread. So as you can see, my judgment is not as good as it used to be back in those days. That was like 15 years ago. But let's get this going. So let's get rolling. Can I do two at a time? A little bit too much flour on my countertop. I want it to stick a little bit because that kind of seals the bottom of the roll. I think I used, yeah, I didn't need the flour here. Didn't need the flour here. So I'm going to have to do them one at a time with my hands. But we still get rolls. It's no problem. Nice and easy. Use your hands just to make them into a ball shape. Or this method works too. All that matters here is that we try to get nice. I've got 5, nice, consistent, good size, so they all bake at the same time. And there we have it. That's our rolls ready to go in the oven. We're going to cover them over 45 more minutes. Right, here we are. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness, look at those. Wow. All ready to go in the oven. Oven preheated up at 200. Now we're going to put those in. They're going to take about 20 or so minutes, I think. If you've got steam function on your oven, by all means use it. I have one here. You just put a little bit of water in the bottom of the oven. Really great if you're baking. If you've got the steam option, always great to use that. So 20 minutes. Let's see how they look. Of course, we got to do a little clean down. Always cleaning down after you're working. Try to work as tidy as possible. They're looking good. They're looking good. Okay, so let's cut one of these bad boys open and have a look. I'm gonna take the best one. Oh, look at that. Texture's nice, not dry, nice air pockets in there. I'm pleased with these. I'm pleased with these. Now we're going to make the cutter. So we're starting off with sauces, okay? We're starting off with my smoky hibiscus pepper sauce. Now I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. We've got our Trini Chow Chow. We have this in Trinidad at Christmas with the Christmas ham. So you know it's going with the pork and the Trini garlic sauce. Now, okay, I'm not going to lie. The Dominican pickled onions, I had to put them in here because they're so good. Plus the lettuce and tomatoes. We'll talk more about those pickled onions. And of course the lechon. Now, this piece of lechon, listen to this. That's what I'm talking about. Now, yes. What we're going to do with this lechon is we're going to look at this juiciness. And then we're going to take off the crispy skin, the chicharron, because we're going to do this whole hog style where you chop up the meat, like the lechon, chop it up, and then we're going to take the crispy skin, we're going to chop that up separately, and then we're going to mix it all back together. So you still get the texture of the skin, and then you still get the softness of the slow roasted lechon. Now, let's take the skin. Let's just do this, yeah? That's the sound I'm talking about. Now, let's get it all chopped up, nice bite-sized pieces. So you're going to get pieces of roast lechon. You're going to get pieces of chicharron in every bite. Just oof. It's all about the texture in this cutter, okay? So let's put this to one side for a minute. Now, whilst in between baking the bread and setting this up, I'm not gonna lie, I ate the cutter that I cut because you've got to eat bread when it comes out of the oven. It's like a rule. If you bake the bread, you've got to eat it straight out the oven. So I ate that one. So let's get another one. Okay, so we're going to take our cutter, our Bajan salt bread, and we're going to cut it in half. We're going to use the bottom of our Bajan salt bread. That's going to be the base for our cutter. Okay, let's build this thing. We're starting off Trini chow chow, right? Chow chow, fermented vegetables, onion, garlic, turmeric and mustard based pickle. So it's kind of like the Bajan pepper sauces because they're mustard based, but this one has a bit more vegetable in it, a bit more fermented pickly tang to it, okay, because it's going to go great with the pork. Pickles and pork, so good. So we're kind of covering off the Bajan hot sauce with that kind of mustardy back note. Now we're taking the tomatoes, typical of the Bajan cutter, and then we're taking our meat. Now, let's just stack as much of this lechon and chicharron into this cutter as we can get in there. It's like a little tower. Try to just squeeze it in. Then we're going to take our Dominican pink pickled onions. Now, the Dominican pink pickled onions, if you ever had mango con tres golpes, oh my god, these onions are the best. They're like pickled and then fried. So, so good. So, now we're going to take our top of our bun, our Trini garlic sauce. This is how we used to do it back in the day. McDonald's, my first ever job. Get that mayo on that chicken sandwich and the lettuce. So I'm doing it just the same way. And of course, we can't forget the hot sauce. The Bajan cutter has the hot sauce. We got a bit of the chow chow, but we've also got this smoky hibiscus hot sauce that I make. Fermented it a little bit. Hibiscus, also called Jamaica, flor de Jamaica, flower from Jamaica. We call it sorrel in Trinidad or hibiscus. And of course, we put the lid on. Now, this is the lechon cutter, okay? We're talking Trini sauces with the Trini chow chow, okay? The Trini garlic sauce. We've got the Trini hot sauce, all right? We've got the Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban lechon in there, okay? Dominican pink pickled onions, all right? And the Bajan salt bread. Please tell me a sandwich that's more Caribbean than this. There's so many different Caribbean elements in this cutter, I tell you. I'm going to need a moment. And of course, if you go to Barbados, it's not just cutters. You got to do the fish cakes like you have in the cutter with two fish cakes. Fish fry, oysters on a Friday. Fish fried. It's not fried, it's grilled, but it's the fish fry. Lovely seasoned fish cooked over fire. I mean, these guys cook. I've never seen people cook so many fish, and the fish coming straight out of the ocean right behind you. Can see it. Barbecue pigtails. Oh my god. I know you might turn your nose up at pigtail, but I'll tell you what. Pigtails, my mum used to cook that for us when we were little in the rice, the Trini Pilau to flavour it. Pigtails are a great source of flavour, right? And if we're using the pig, why are we going to throw away the tail? So pigtails, if you see them, barbecue pigtails. And cuckoo and the flying fish as well. You know, you've got the flying fish famous to Barbados. Serve it with cuckoo. Now cuckoo, my mum used to make cuckoo when we were kids and we never used to eat it. And now I serve that on my menu sometimes. One of my favourite dishes. I've done some collaborations recently where I put cuckoo on the menu. I like it to have it a little bit more loose than the typical style of Trini and Barbados. But yeah, man, cuckoo and flying fish, make sure you try it, okay, when you're in Barbados. If there's anything else I've missed, put it in the comments so people watching this video can know everything there is to try when they go to Barbados. So if you want to learn a bit more about lechon, subscribe because that's going to be my next video. We're going to talk about that because lechon is not just going in this dish, but it's one of my ideas that I want to finesse a dish of lechon for one of my pop-up menus this year. So we're going to do some experiments. So if you want to see that, hit subscribe.